What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to another live Thursday night at the garage. What do we think, people? What do we think? We got some people rolling in here. Who we got? We got Shane, as usual. Good to see you, my man. Super Slow, Glenn, De La Soul, Kamar. What do you guys think? What's going on? Hey, Mike. I'm guessing you're saying jerk chicken. Instead, Jet Kid. What up, Andrew? I'm gonna have to change the background because as of today, the Camaro is officially sold. Bye bye, Camaro. Bye bye. It's been fun. We'll see you down the road. Oh man, it's been a hell of a couple weeks. Let me tell you that. So, what is new? Hey, TJ. Gotta love that, Mike. Whenever you can work and YouTube at the same time. Glenn, I don't know that I'll ever own a Fox body. I don't have any hate against Fox bodies. I think Fox bodies are pretty cool cars, honestly. Oh, what up? D Stiggs in the house. Just not Ford guy. It's time for something new, ICT car guy. Come on. Yeah, the Camaro is gone. It's found a new home. It's not gone yet, obviously. It's got to travel across the country. Listen, I really loved my GT350. I do miss that car. Awesome. Get that good data log. At least it's falling in line finally. I'm so tired, man. I'm actually drinking coffee at 8 o'clock at night. Oh, there's Danny. What do you know, brother? Let's see here. We're giving a hat away. So make sure you jump in on the raffle. The raffle is running. Members only live stream. That's not what I want. Let's give away some memberships while we're at it. Oh, well, TJ beat me to it. Thank you, TJ. Everybody, say thanks to TJ, and if you get a free membership, it's because of him. Hopefully somebody in here got it. No, listen, I really love that Camaro. It's been my favorite car that I've done so far, and it is the most just well put together, best driving. It's an absolute dream. I'll be honest with you. It's great. But I'm like a shark, man. If I stop moving, I'll probably die. So I got to a point where I was very happy with it. Yep, had the 8 HP. God, man, and I tell you that 8 HP, that is now my go-to transmission. I'm already planning on putting one in the next car I do. So, see, I try to give away some memberships. TJ beats me to it. So, congrats to everybody that got a membership. And thank you, TJ, as always. That's the best way that you can support the channel is by giving other people memberships. Because it's a win-win situation on the live show. I'll let you in on a little secret. If you're a member, you get bonus tickets on the raffle. Okay, TJ. If I don't see you, I'll see you. Why the 8 HP versus the GM10 speed? I will run it down for you. First, the 8 HP is significantly smaller than the GM10 speed. It's smaller than GM6 speed. So, cars like the older Camaros and Novas and stuff like that, a 6-speed won't fit without cutting the trans tunnel out. 8 HP will go in there. 2, it shifts significantly faster. And when I say significantly faster, if it takes this long for a GM transmission to shift. It takes this long for an 8 HP to shift. It shifts faster than the dual clutch transmission. It is just a wonderful transmission. And they've got multiple. On top of it, an 8 HP 70 can be had for about $500 secondhand on Marketplace. Now, granted, there's a lot more money that's got to go into it to swap it, because you got to buy the adapter plate and you got to get a TCU or some way of controlling it. So you're going to be in it for probably $3,000, but you're not getting a 6-speed like a 6L80 that's good for up to 1,000 horsepower for less than $3,000, or even $3,000. Oh yeah, no, they're about the size of a Turbo 400. A little bit bigger, but not much bigger than the Turbo 400. I was rather surprised how small they are. And you can do crazy stuff with them. You can run them without a torque converter. You can run them directly. There's guys that are running them directly coupled to the motor. I don't know if they do work with Terminator X Max. I know they do with the Dominator. If they don't work with Terminator X Max, my guess is the Terminator X Max is not going to control it, but I think you can make the Terminator X Max talk to a one of the TCUs. Like the one that I used was the Turbo Lamic, which seems to be the way to go if you're not running a standalone. Like if you have a Max ECU, they have built-in transmission control. The way that they do it, they actually remap the factory TCU that's in the transmission, and then it talks to the factory TCU. The way that I did it, you actually cut that thing out and wire past it, and then install an external TCU. Gives you all the customization. But like, there's guys on the drift circuits running these things. They run a direct drive from the crank into the transmission, because this thing has multiple clutches in it, and then they run a digital clutch pedal with the sequential shifter and drive it like a manual. It's crazy what you can do with it. Like, trust me. And this is the reason, I don't know if anybody was really following SEMA last week. Blueprint Motors has come out with an LS 8 HP transmission engine combination. Yeah, I would never do it with no converter. Obviously, it's crazy, and you're going to go through the clutches pretty quick on it, but it's awesome what you do. Trans brake, it's an 8-speed that you can do a trans brake on, and I'm talking like using the internal stuff on it. You can lock it up and do a trans brake. So you got to jump in there and just do it, man. Have you updated the to the latest software? The latest version of ECM Live is a lot better. They've got it a lot better sorted out. They've got dynamic menus. And so, like, if you have settings, whenever you turn them on, it'll add tabs for the settings for those things. So a lot of things are nested and hidden unless you're using them, which is really nice. And so whenever you initially get in there, it's really compact. Then as you add things like the traction control and stuff like that, it'll open up the new tabs where you can see them and make the settings and adjustments and all that stuff. Excuse me. But yeah. And honestly, like, I listed the Camaro for sale at a very good price for what I had in it. Oh man, I'm sorry to hear that, Dead Soul. Sorry to hear that. Send my thoughts and condolences out to you. Nothing worse than losing a member of the family like that. So, but yeah, as I said, I priced it aggressively to sell just because I didn't need it sitting in the garage all winter. I'm obviously not going to drive it all winter. Initially, I hadn't planned on selling it until probably closer to spring. I got what I wanted out of it. Essentially, I broke even on it, which is amazing. I mean, I broke even. I made more than what I bought it for, but I made enough to cover what I had into it. The math's a bit funky. We won't get into it on that side of it. But I broke even, so I'm happy with that. Let's see here. Let's give out more memberships. Let's just Listen, if you are not enabled being able to receive free memberships, you have to go to the website. You can't do it through the app or anything like that, and enable it in your settings for your profile. We'll member up everybody. Let's go. 11 years, man. 11 years. Got to cherish all of them. Some of you probably know that our oldest dog went through cancer a couple years ago. She's still kicking. She's still doing good. In fact, we got her on a new joint supplement, and she's going crazy. There you go. Perfect. Thank you, Shane. Don't want to miss out on your opportunity to get free membership. As I said, if you're a member, whenever we do raffles, you get bonus tickets for being a member. If I have it turned on, which I may not have it turned on for this drawing. I thought I had it set up. Man, I literally smoked my gourd on the lift right before this. I've got the Camaro parked underneath the lift. I went to get something out of it, opened the door, looked in it, and then stood straight up right into the bottom of one of the bores. Oh, that sucks. It's not doing the bonus tickets for this one. I'll have to figure out why. Well, next time. You guys get too much free stuff anyways. Hey, Kyle. Hey, Mike. Hey, Trey. Congrats. So, anybody got any questions? I'm just sitting there talking. You tune in questions. There got to be something going on. Something going on. Oh, man. Hitches just find the greatest way to get you every time. Dude, Mike, I don't know if my melon made the nice ting sound because of all of the obscenities I yelled whenever it happened. Red, what are you trying to do, man? As far as Gym 4, Gym 4 swap, where are you trying to swap? Camaro had an LS3. Do I need to retune after Vena Atmosphere for the catch can? Okay. You shouldn't. Well, depends on where it was plumbed in. You shouldn't. Okay. If you had the catch can plugged in upstream of the mass airflow, you won't need to. If you had it plugged in downstream of the mass airflow, which it shouldn't be, it should always be upstream of any metering device, you will. But as I said, if it was upstream of the mass airflow sensor, you'll be perfectly fine. There you go. Super slow. The MPVI4, the one that I have, is technically a pre-production release. I got to send it back, so I've not really messed around with it much. They were, everybody's gone to SEMA, so, I'm waiting for them to get back so they can send me one to play with. So I'm anxious to use it on the Dodge. Whenever it shows up, I'm going to do some stuff. Yeah, Mike, I was literally talking about that earlier. I'm going to be interested to see what they use for transmission control on the Blueprint plug-and-play setups. E78. How to keep it in controlled enclosed loop. But, Mike, you're talking outside of my wheelhouse there. Super slow, I would do it from a 2. If you're still sitting on 2, I would break down, spend the $250 to update it. It'd be worth it. What am I thinking about for a Camaro replacement project? It's going to be Japanese. That's what I'll say for right now. Got my eye on a couple. I know what I'm getting. It's going to be Japanese. I'll talk about more after the first of the year. Fired car up for the first time in about 8 weeks. It was cold. Had a high idle. It was dim lit outside. Notice headers had a light glow. Normal. 10% ratio of the time. No. Ken, timing is a little bit too retarded. So, what? Help me out, Ken. Year, make, model. I'm guessing you're on a 5th gen because that's the one that likes to do that. Will not be a 300ZX, though. I like 300ZXs. E40. So it's going to be GTO or Trailblazer. Manual. 7-liter big cam from idle. Tipping in is lethargic, especially cold. What parameters should I be looking at? So if you've got a big cam, James, my guess is, off the top of my head, if your fueling looks all right, where you're at in your timing table is not enough timing. And I actually ran into that on the Camaro. I couldn't figure out why the thing was a dog off the line. I went over and looked, and it was, there's always, let me just show you, editor. And this happens on big cams because you're not pulling much vacuum at idle now. Probably don't want to look at a Camaro Z01. That's a bad example. Let me find a GTO. Okay, let's put this over here. Let's go to the white. Okay, got the microphone added in there. So, what happens is if we come in here and look at our timing table, this is where it expects you to idle on a stock timing table. You're probably idling up here. And even if you had somebody kind of play with this, make sure that you're looking at your idle, what your idle vacuum or whatever you want to call it, what your air mass is, since it's an air mass, and make sure that you're not idling in this low area. And if you are, just bump it up, you know. So a lot of times what you'll have to do is kind of come in here and flesh this out some, and we'll do some interpolation and do some interpolation. Did I get that one? Yep. Because we're used to seeing timing kind of follow this curve right here. Whenever you got a big cam, it follows more of a curve like this. Okay. Where's my cursor at? Okay. I'm ignoring you, Mike. Yep. That's I see that a lot. Ken, did I miss your make model? Yeah, fits you in Camaro. Yep. So what's happening is go into your torque tables, Ken, and lower the torque on the virtual torque tables. Lower the torque in your idle area, and that'll bump the timing up. Now, whenever you do that and then you do calculate, it'll try and smooth back out and pull it back up. So you might have to lower it a couple times. I'll take 25% out, and that'll generally get you about 10 to 15% out of it, and try. But look at your idle timing. You should be, 10 to 15 degrees. My guess is that you're idling around 0 to -5, which is heating up the old headers. Okay, where am I at? 2000 Silverado 5.3 stock headers, no cat. What can I use for tuner? Well, HB tuners. That's the way you want to go. Shilongo. When swapping in 4L80 and place of 4L60, will stock ECU work? I need to go aftermarket. If so, which one? So it depends on what you're working on. You should be able to do, I don't know, you should be able to do a segment swap on that. I'm guessing, are you talking about a 3rd gen, Rick? Give me some details. Your make model. James, if you got some subtle misfiring, man, as I said, double check your fueling, make sure that's dialed in. You shouldn't be getting misfire on low speed, low load. Check your actual misfire counters. Make sure you don't have an issue on one of your holes. Exclamation point raffle, Rick. Accidentally flashed my E38 with a file from a Gen 3. Now I can't read it without entering the VIN number. How do I repair this? How did you flash it with the Gen 3 in the first place? It should have said new. Dan, you're probably going to have to hit up HP Tuners. Hit up the support line. That's a new one on me. I didn't even know that you shouldn't be able to do that. Have done a video on Gen 4 swap as far as segment swaps. I don't know that I've really got any segment swap videos out there. They're a pain in the ass. Everybody acts like they're easy, but the big thing is you've got to find matching operating systems. So you got to find one that your EC or your OS matches, that has the module updates that you're looking for if you're going from one transmission to another. There's a lot of information out there. Just kind of got to dig around. Try ChatGPT, to be honest with you. Don't name files like original Camaro because you won't remember which one. I try to, if I'm doing my own stuff, I try to do folders for every vehicle that I'm doing that are very specific. If I'm doing customer stuff, it's all underneath their name. So, and if I do a second or a third car for a customer, then I get more fancy on the folder naming. You can't be too crazy about like being careful on that stuff. Had a tuner tune my E40 and I saw a misfire table was maxed out. Kyle Hampton. That's one of my newest pet peeves. Okay, listen up, people. Busting out the old Go Road Garage soapbox here. If you have somebody do a tune on your car, whenever they're done with it, go into the misfire section. Let's jump back over the whiteboard. It's underneath engine diagnostics. Misfire. If any of this stuff is maxed out, you'll see 32,000 or whatever the max parameter is. They royally screwed you over. So I had a car that I tuned on for months and could not figure out. The guy was saying, this thing has a stumble in it. I was jacking with this thing for months. Could not figure it out. And finally looked under misfire. He had maxed out misfire. And the thing about it is, this is a well-known tuner that I guarantee you everybody in this chat knows who it is, and I was absolutely mind blown. I thought I'd never see that. I've seen 3 of them in the last year alone. Here's the thing. Whenever you're reading misfires, it's totally normal to see a few counts. You're going to, because they are calculated. They're using math to determine if there's a misfire. So it is totally normal to see a couple counts. Now, if you're seeing 40 or 50 counts, you've got an issue. You need to troubleshoot that cylinder. Got plug wire, plug issues, coil issues, wiring issues. You got a problem. You got to fix that, because if you don't fix that, the car will not tune properly. The mere fact that Kyle Hampton over here had a tuner that maxed those out means that he didn't want to troubleshoot a problem and fix it properly, and band-aided the tune to get the car down the road and get the money out of him. He robbed him. That's robbery. He robbed you, Kyle. I'm sorry, bud. And it pisses me off to no end. Yeah, check and pray. All the stuff. So, sorry. Okay, now I'm getting off of my soapbox. Yeah, you can't tune them around mechanical issues. You can cover up some mechanical issues, but you cannot properly tune around them. You will end up, because they piggyback. So an issue that starts out small over time just gets bigger and bigger and bigger. So, God dang, my head hurts. I'm taking the hat off, guys. You're going to have to deal with the hair tonight. I really got myself good. Okay, where are we at? Oh, yeah, Ken. Sorry. Let me go back to the whiteboard. Let me open up a 5th gen. No, I don't want to ruin that. Come on. Doop 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 doo. There we go. We'll just go with the Corvette Z06. Open up. So it's going to be up under edit. So for logging misfires, just open up your scanner and in the search box where you add channels, type in misfire and it'll bring up about 10 to 12 parameters. I only like to look at the current for the 8 cylinders, and it shows you each cylinder individually. Okay, Ken, underneath edit virtual torque is going to bring up this table here. And so you want to look at kind of the area that you're in for your idle. So see what kind of air mass that you're running at idle. Depending on how crazy your cam is, it may be higher. But come in here and do like 0.8 multiplier. Hit that. And then do a couple rows of interpolation. And it's kind of hard to see, but we put a little dip down there in the bottom end. Oops, I hit the wrong button. Let's try that again. 0.8. And we'll come in here and kind of interpolate that out, extrapolate, and it'll bring those values back up. So you may have to do this 2 or 3 times, but do it and then circle back and see what your time is at. Okay, bud? Okay. I opened the raffle back up. If you're not in the raffle, you've got a couple more. We'll run it until the end of the show. We've already done 25 minutes, which is hard to believe. Okay, well, I'm falling behind. Just picked up tuning, learn math and VE are important. The most important. How would you go about learning about transient errors? Something I keep hearing pop up next time. So, okay. So, the big thing to know about transient high proof is on port injection, we're talking about the amount of fuel that gets built up on the intake runner walls. And so, whenever you wick the throttle, the onrush of air sucks that fuel off the wall. And the big thing that we really need to look at on that is once we get the steady state dialed in on VE and the math, if whenever you're hitting the gas and it has just like a lean blip, make sure it's not just your wideband, for one, because there is some latency on the wideband. But you can go in and the best place is under transient is to just kind of play with the gain. It's on the far right row. You just bump it up, and essentially that's telling it to put a little more fuel on the walls. Yeah, Mike says ECU was breaking his be reflashed back to stock by tech full override. But I'm wondering if you did a right entire with an E38 file. I still don't know how it's even possible. I might have to try and write a 3rd gen tune to one of my E38s or E67s and see how. Oops. I need to clean up my desk. If local dealers can reflash an E38, they should be able to. It would probably be cheaper to buy the interface and do it yourself. So I would suggest, personally, yeah, you can get by with a Chinese knockoff. No, you can't anymore. That's okay. Hold on. So if you're using a knockoff MDI, stop. I don't even know where mine's at. I've got 3 ECUs up here for some reason. But SPS has come out and said that if you are caught using a knockoff MDI, they will ban your account. So, that being said, if you're using an authorized tool like a Mongoose cable, you will be fine. So, I would pony up the cash, buy Mongoose cable. They're about, $300. And then it's $40 for the VIN number. And then you can flash your own stuff through SPS. That would be the way to do it. Okay. Can you tune around my 2 melted pistons? Yeah, if you want to run on 6 cylinders, we can figure it out, Brad. Oh, that's right. Well, SPS will let you do offboard programming on the older ones. They don't. Gen 5 is whenever SPS started. Well, it used to be. Gen 5 was whenever the SPS started requiring BCM communications. Gen 4 used to, last time I did it, you could still do it offboard. Might have changed though. But oh, Mike, you got banned on SBS. I mean, you can create an account. Technically, hopefully you're only out $40 for the VIN number. So, do I have a video covering this? High proof? I can't remember if I have a transient video. But I'm going to be doing a Gen 3 class here soon. Winter's coming around, so... oh, Brad, that's funny. Winter's going to be coming around, so I'm going to start doing some classes on the weekends for you guys. And we can talk about there. Oh, yeah, Brad, I literally sold the Camaro today. Can you walk through setting up an LS3 kart style map into 2007? Okay. There's no real thing that you have to know about setting it up, because the output of the card map is the same as the old canister maps. The big thing about it is that the range of the card map can just go higher. So Gen 3s are, Gen 4, whatever. Why does your 2007 5.3 not have a card map already? I thought they did. Neither here nor there. Goes up to 15,000 hertz instead of 12,000 hertz. That's the only thing. Just got to change the scaling on there. But it's straightforward. It's once you set it up, it tunes the same. The ECU doesn't know there's any difference between it because they're both frequency. Oh, okay. You got 2 years fully upgraded cards. So it's not the end of the world. You can create a new account now and you'll be fine. Well, Dan, they'll do it if you tow the car in. I said they'll 3 made amps. Can I adjust volt output on a 2010? I don't know. Are those PWM controlled, the 2010s? So some alternators are PWM controlled, or actually they've got an on-off. They're probably not even PWM. I know most of the 5th gen stuff is. Let me look at a 2010. If anywhere, it'll be under the system tab. Voltage control fitted. Okay, so this is not your setup necessarily, but if you come underneath system in general, you have, and I think it's like you can come in here and adjust, but this is the one that you want to look at is your fuel system voltage min. I believe this is the one. It's been a while since I've done this, but set any of your voltages higher because you're on the alternator, and essentially what this is telling is if it's above this, you can shut the alternator off for emissions, and then once the voltage drops down below these set points, kick the alternator back on. That's why on modern vehicles you'll actually see your battery voltage do this the whole time you're driving. It's annoying, and the alternator is not that much of a load to keep a battery topped off. On Bosch E69, what are you using it on, Minnesota Pontiac? Give me year, make, model. Do you know if it's possible out of bank 2 oxygen sensor on LS4 and 09 Impala SS? Ooh, no clue. So, in theory, based on which ECU it is, yes, but whether or not the OS would work, probably not. Kairusar. TJ, what'd I miss? Somebody flashed a 4th gen ECU with a 3rd gen tune somehow. I'm losing track. I've got so many. Okay. On the 2010 Camaro V6. Let me see if I've got one of those. I've got a Camaro V6 in here somewhere. Camaro V6. Oh, this is 2015. This may not be the same. Let me see if it's on a 4th gen still. Where'd my window go? No, that's an E39. I don't have a version of that one. What tables does it have? I mean, it's a GM. It should only have the high and low octane. What a funky ECU. Minnesota Pontiac. Do me a favor. Send me a copy of the tune over to info@Goat Rope Garage. I would like to check it out. So TJ, it allowed him to do it somehow, but now he has to enter the VIN to flash. It's something so wild I've never even heard about it. William McMurray, thoughts on using 8 HP in the future build? It will be the only thing I use. Listen, I got tattoos all over. I'm getting an 8 HP tattooed on my left arm. I am a convert. I believe in 8 HP. VMF are your critical ones, man, because that is the foundation for all of your tuning, high proof. So work on those first. Rob, got my Gen 3 LSP01. Got running idling thanks to you. Well, thank you. To ensure my base idle air is correct, do I need to just log idle desired airflow? No, I just look at the actual airflow and go off of it. So, because your idle desired airflow is based off your base idle airflow. 8L90, there's no way in hell an 8L90 is smaller and lighter than an 8 HP, TJ. You're full of BS. No way. No way. What's the cost to swap from a 4L80 to an 8 HP? Probably $3,000. £218 for a dry 8L90. 8 HP 70 dry weight. 192 pounds. So, 25 pounds heavier. If you got an old back like mine. Dude, an 8 HP is the size of a Turbo 400. You can ship it via UPS, bro. That's an inside joke between me and TJ. 8 HP is the future. 1,000% the future. It is mechanically impossible to make any GM transmission shift as fast as an 8 HP. Bro, everybody that I know that has done it, I know you are. You're just being a pain in my ass, TJ. Everybody that I know that's done it, William, absolutely love it. Now that, and my buddy Corey, the guy that I always did, that I did Rocky Mountain Race Week with, was the one that talked me into it. Man, I'm so glad I did. Like, I was talking to Justin, the guy that owns the Smoke Monster now, and I told him, I was like, first thing, I was like, no matter what my next car is, it will have an 8 HP. Like, I looked at some cars, and the platform would not allow an 8 HP, and said, no, I don't want it because I can't put an 8 HP in it. So, listen, Mason, I will say with all the funky stuff going on, there's multiple options out there. Turbolamic is the most standalone. A lot of the other ones work in tandem with the built-in TCU. Because just like the 6Ls and stuff like that, bro, Kyle, 68 Camaro fit without modifying the tunnel. Anything will fit it. That's one of the tightest tunnels that they make. So, Turbolamic, full standalone, you have to bypass the TCU. You have to open it up, yada, yada, yada. All the other ones, you're basically like max TCU, reflash the stock TCU and put a program on it that allows it to talk to it. CAN TCU just talks to the factory TCU, and so it has to do some BS to get all of the torque parameters to play nicely, which that's why I went turbolambic, because whenever you go turbolambic, you can control every aspect of it. So yeah, I said, Mike, I want to know what platform they're using on it. Okay, we're getting ready to write up. Mason says I've had Gen 4 fail right and brick requiring VIN input. Oh, okay. Interesting. All three were poison spider trucks. That's a very weird correlation. Zoom familiar with E42. My truck not building boost. Now I have to figure out why. No boost leaks. Log shows 0 engine RPM. That's interesting. Well, you've got to have a code. Something's going on. You should be throwing a code on their trailhead. Well, Mike, Mike says on my platform, MAF is OE and VVE is tuned on E78 Cruise. And technically, that's the way it should be. VE should be, once you dial in VE, the mass airflow should work unless you change the intake. So, oh, good call, TJ, crank sensor. If you change the intake, that's whenever the mass airflow has to be adjusted. But Elite Tuning School now is payment option, was great. Have you ever tried their courses? What are your thoughts on them? Yes, I have tried all of their courses, and I will actually be in their booth at PRI next month. So if you go to PRI, come find me. I won't go as far as to say in our booth. I will be in an Elite Tune School's booth. We'll be right next to HP Tuners, so we'll be easy to find. Come by. I got a box with a couple hundred koozies to take with me, so I'm giving away free koozies. Rocky Ridge. I wonder, Mason, if they use something funky to program the wheel tire change, and that was what was causing the fight. PRI's in Indianapolis. PRI is like SEMA, but it's race only. So it's none of the BS squatted trucks and dumb crap like that. It's just pure race stuff. All the race companies will be there, and it covers all racing. Dirt, drag, autocross, whatever you want to call it. So it's about a quarter the size of SEMA without all, like, I was about to say without all the neon underglow, but that shows you how long it's been since I've been to SEMA, because neon underglow was still a big thing. Okay, we're wrapping this up. It's 8:35. We're closing entry now. I'll give you 30 more seconds to get in if you didn't get in the raffle, because we've only got 24 people in. So exclamation point raffle right now. EFI Live is dead. So EFI Live actually got bought by a diesel company here in America, and I wouldn't even bother with them. I don't know. Maybe they're still supporting the diesel stuff, but they're done with gas. They're not going to support. They're not going to have the money to even develop for new cars and stuff like that. So I don't expect the software to get updated. William, yeah, I'll go over some of the stuff on the turbolambic, what I can. I'll be honest with you on doing the turbolambic and working with HP tuners on the core integration. It's so spot on. and it just works. Basically, all you have to do is set up the torque tables and the turbolammic to realistic values to the torque that your vehicle's making, and the core actually sends torque, does the torque request from the turbolammic, and it works seamless. I really liked the software 10 years ago. They had some really cool stuff in the Gen 4. I won't get into it. Closing entries now. We're doing the draw, and you got to be present to win. Winner is Mason and me. Mason and me, I know for a fact you're still here because you just posted. You know the deal, Mason. Shoot me an email with your address over at info@goatropegarage.com. Let me know if you want a small, medium, or a large, extra large. And I will get that shipped out. Actually, I got to ship out the last winner's hat. And as I said, we'll have some more updates. No, I didn't mess with trash control. Trash control. Who wants that stuff? Z01 Chris steps in here, which I haven't seen in a while. Says I love the new background. I'll say it once again. I literally sold this car today. So I will have to have a new background for next week's stream. So thanks everybody as always for showing up. Had a blast. Love hanging out with you guys. You're the best. You know the drill. Hey TJ, big shout out again for the gifted members. Everybody appreciates it. In fact, I think Mason, were you one of the guys that got the free membership? Look at that, man. You just winning. So you guys know the drill. Thanks for stopping by the garage. Remember, ABT, always be tuning.